Hello and welcome to the Flipping and Wholesaling Houses in New York show. I am Michael Pinter, where I teach you how to start flipping or wholesaling houses, or if you're already doing it, how to grow your business. So I get asked a lot about what books to read. What are the must-read books for real estate investors? So I'm going to give you some that I think everybody's heard of and some that I think you haven't. So first, the book that started off the most real estate investors that I know is Rich Dad, Poor Dad by Robert Kiyosaki. And if you're even having a question of whether you should be a real estate investor, you should read that book first. And in the book, which is great, he writes that he grew up with his biological dad, who was was a professor in college, I believe, never made a lot of money, and then his friend's father was his rich dad, was basically an entrepreneur, made money in real estate, and showed him how to make money. It's great. It comes up more than any other book when people say how they started. I'd say by a factor of 100. So it's gotten a lot of people started. Now, another book you people might have heard of is Never Split the Difference, right here by Chris Voss. I'm not going to pull it out of the bookshelf, but it's amazing. It talks about how to negotiate, and the basics of that book are completely counterintuitive. The basics are during negotiation. This is from a hostage negotiator. During negotiation, the only thing the other side really wants to be is understood. If you understand the other side and you can accurately convey or repeat to them what they want, you have almost always won the negotiation just by that. It sounds crazy, right? You think that in a negotiation, I want to buy the property for as little as possible. They want to buy the property as much as possible, but it's more than that. There's a lot more psychology to it, and it's great. I've seen Chris Voss live. He is fantastic. I've gotten training from him. It's excellent stuff for anybody who's going to be dealing direct with the seller. Now, if you're doing any marketing, anything by Dan Kennedy, there's no BS books, is fantastic. Dan Kennedy is really one of the fathers of direct to any kind of marketing, but certainly direct to consumer, direct to seller marketing. Dan Kennedy's books are fantastic. It's called No BS, and there really is no BS. He's an amazing guy who really built himself a business the way he wanted to and deals with clients and people the way he wants to. For example, he only has people contact him via fax. Now, you may say that's crazy and ancient, but what it does for him is it creates a hurdle for people to get in contact with him. And I think it's important to understand that as you get to certain milestones in your business, you should create the business to work for your life, right? You don't live to work, you work to live, and you want to structure your business the way you want it to be. I'm making changes in my business right now to make my life better. My business is supposed to serve me. I am not supposed to serve my business. Now, it takes time to get to that point, but Dan Kennedy is a great example of a guy who's built his business the way it works. Now, I got something else here, more personal productivity. So 12-week year, an amazing book about how people think in terms of year, but really should we be thinking in terms of quarters, and that a lot of the things we do in our life, and I run my business on a 13-week, it's supposed to be 12-week, but 13-week basis, because the year is way too long, and you need to condense things and look at them every week and treat every week almost like it's a month, right? A 12 or a 13-week year gives you 12 or 13 units to look at, and you need to be on top of things on a much shorter basis. Very helpful. I have friends who actually got coaching from them. The book is great. It gives you a completely different way to look at things, to be much more productive, much more effective. Great book that just came out of somebody, David Richter. It's called Profit First for Real Estate Investing. So Mike Michalowicz has a bunch of books. One of them is called Profit First, where also, similar vein to what I said before, you're supposed to build your business for it to work for you. Most people build their business in a way where it's income, let's say revenue minus expenses equals your net income. And most people work, even on their own business, job, just over broke. And they struggle, and most businesses, I'm not saying a vast majority of businesses work that way. They just make enough money to pay their bills and eke out an absurdly small profit. And he's a completely different way of looking at it. He's like, pay yourself first. It's revenue minus profit equals expenses. And if your expenses are too high, you need to cut your expenses, but you need to structure your business so that it serves you, right? And David Richter's an amazing guy. He does outsourcing CFO service. He's part of a mastermind. He just came out with this book. It really just came out a little while ago. It's great. It's a great book. It really changes the way you think about business. Profit First for Real Estate Investing. So back to Mike Michalowicz. He wrote a book called Profit First. He has some great books called Pumpkin Plan. and he's great. So again, this is just David Richter's take on Mike Michalowicz's book specifically for real estate investing. Now, I got a bunch of other books here. Anything by Seth Godin. He's an amazing thinker on marketing, is great. What the hell else? The Millionaire Real Estate Investor by Gary Keller is great. These are books they're foundational books, and I read a lot of nonfiction books, right? A lot. I think I'm reading 3 or 4 right now, and I think the way it works, and so some people I don't like to read. You can do it on Audible if you want to listen to it. I know a lot of people just listen to the books. But the way it works in a lot of these books, you're going to just try and pull something out. There's a book I'm going through. I have like a book club. Where the hell is that? I can't find that book, which I love. And of course, it's The Road Less Stupid. Amazing, amazing book by Keith Cunningham. And it's a completely unbelievable way to look at your business. So I have a book club. We talk twice a week. We're actually meeting in a little while. Where we go through a chapter of this every single week. And it is fantastic. It is a way to sort of take yourself out of the business and think about what are the questions you should be asking, what are the things you should be doing. Most people are not, right? Most people are bullshitting their way through a business or through a job or through their life. But if you run a business, this book is fantastic, The Road Less Stupid. I'm reading it my 3rd time now. I think I have no problem staying in this book club till the day I die. So I will go through two chapters of this book every single week. A lot of them are very short, just to continue thinking about it. Because the second time I go through it, I think of different things. And am I focusing my energy and my resources on the right things? So just for an example of this book, a lot of people who run businesses, especially real estate businesses, are suffer from shiny object syndrome. So like we'll go to a mastermind. I'm going to Investor Fuel in a couple of days, and we'll go there, and somebody will go, I have this great Facebook marketing plan, and we're like, shit, let's do it. Let's jump right in there. Let me plow some money into it. But his thing is, anytime you're going to try something new, you have to understand that there are going to be resources that you're taking from things that may be working. So to jump onto the new shiny object, you have to understand what's the best case scenario, what's the worst case scenario, and what am I really going to pay? Just to give an example, I tried radio advertising, and I tried it for a few months, and it was an investment. I forgot how much it was, $12,000-$15,000. I looked at that as the money was flushed down the toilet. And guess what? It wasn't flushed down the toilet. I got a few leads. I got no deals. And maybe I tried it for too short. But when you go into something like that, you have to look at it as, hey, this is a test, and it may work or may not work. And I was convinced that it didn't really take away resources from other things. My lead intake crew had just grown so they could talk to those people, and I was fine with it. But you have to look at, anytime you change anything in your business like that, you have to look at it like that. And this is a book that really, really teaches you how to think about your business, what you should be thinking about. He's big on thinking time, really spending time, distraction free, and thinking about. He gives you a list of questions so you can pick 1 or 2, and that's what we do every week. We pick a question or 2, and then we talk about it together in a group, and it's great. I love it. I really think it's great. When I miss it occasionally, I feel bad because chances are your competition is not thinking about the business that way. Chances are they're just half-assing it. Most people half-ass their way through business ownership. Not a vast majority, which is why a lot of businesses don't stick around, because they don't think about the business in the right way. They don't think about what is the best use of my resources? What are the questions I should be asking? So, for example, my business, I'm always thinking I need more leads, but maybe I don't need more leads. Maybe I need better leads, right? Maybe I need a different type of lead, right? Those are the kinds of questions like, maybe I need to market in a different channel completely instead of just throwing more money at the channels I'm working on. Maybe I can get a better conversion with different types of leads. Those are the kinds of things that this book makes you think about, and I highly recommend The Road Less Stupid by Keith Cunningham. It's fantastic. Those are the books that I'd recommend. There are plenty of others. I've read hundreds of others, but they're great, and I find that the people that really do read a lot of these books are the people that are more successful. And it's not because reading makes you smarter. It's because you pull one little thing, one little nugget out of a book that makes you, 1% better. I have that thing there. It says 1% better every day. You want to just get a little better, right? You can't rest on your laurels. You always need to get better. Things are changing. Technology is changing. Your competition is changing. You need to just try and get a little better. When you read nonfiction books like that, some books are a waste of time, but a lot of these books, you get one little nugget out of it that makes you a little bit better, and that helps you over time. I hope this was helpful. If you're interested in all the ways I can help you, go to howtoflipnewyork.com. If you're interested in a course I have that teaches how to do what I do, go to howtoflipnewyork.com. course.com. If you are interested in finding out more about one-on-one coaching I offer, go to coaching.howtoflipnewyork.com. What else? If you're watching on YouTube, please subscribe. If you're watching on any channel, please click the thumbs up. And please keep the comments coming. I post 5 times a week. I don't always know what to say. Your comments help me. You can ask any comment. It doesn't have to be about the video you're watching. If it's a simple answer, I'll just reply. If it's something I've covered before, I'll send you links to the videos. And if it's something new, I will do a new video on it. Thank you very, very much for watching.